Botched cosmetic procedures are keeping us broke as hell, and I have some questions. So let's jump right into this. Welcome, everyone, to Chrissy Has Questions. And on today's episode, I want to deep dive on the pitfalls and financial troubles, not only with the health troubles, but the financial troubles of spending this kind of money for it not to actually work. I want to be extremely transparent. I don't have makeup on today. I don't want to be one of those channels that can't inject my own personal experience into the things that I'm speaking on. I don't want to just sit up here and pretend to judge people. I want to give you always real life examples of how I'm personally affected by it or how I was personally affected by it. I don't want to just sit up on here on a pedestal and pretend that I'm better than anybody or judging anybody. But what I'm doing is opening awareness and having disclosure over these things. Oftentimes it's what you don't know is what you don't know, and what you don't know is a lot. There was this YouTuber that used to say that, and I always resonated with that, and it makes a lot of sense because at the end of the day, if we keep dumping money into these cosmetic procedures and into these different little tweakments and different beauty treatments, we eventually at some point start to lose money or value on it, or it becomes out of control, or it can go in the opposite direction and become botched, like we might see. So just a little bit about me. I am 42 years old. I am coming to you with no makeup. My camera is a Sony ZV-10, I think it is. I think that's right. It has like this slight blurring effect to it, but you can see my lines. Like, you see that? I have fine lines. If I don't drink enough water and my skin is not hydrated enough, you will see the line here, the line here. And then you can see that I have the 11 line here pretty strong. And if I don't, again, live a properly balanced lifestyle, you can start to see that come through. And then you can see the under eye circles that I do have. That is just what it is all day. My skin it's okay, actually. It's decent today, not looking too bad. I started getting procedures probably around the time I was 30. The first thing I ever got was fillers under my eyes because of the fact that I did not like the tear troughs. And once I discovered you could get fillers for that, I wanted to try it. So I ended up getting fillers for my tear troughs, and then I ended up getting lip filler as well. I probably have gotten lip filler 2 times in the last 10 years, and I've gotten under eye filler I think a couple of times in the last 10 years, and I've gotten Botox. I've gotten Botox the most out of any of the procedures, but at this point now, I haven't had Botox done in about 2 years, and I haven't had lip fillers or any other fillers. Oh, and I had like here fillers one time. Instead of getting the under eyes, I got like fillers here to kind of like plump this area, and that I believe was about 5 years ago. So I have not had anything done on my face for at least 2 years, and that's any type of procedures. Outside of that, I've done things like as a spa treatment, I wrapped my legs and it made them thinner. That was fun. It made them thinner for like 2 or 3 weeks, and it made them like very taut. But that was just a very minor procedure, and if anything, it was for fun for spa, but that technically would have been a waste of money because it had no real long-term effects. And I think that if I was to do something like that, I would need to keep doing it over and over again, and it is not cheap. That's the thing about these procedures. They are not inexpensive, and the beauty industry knows that if they can sell us something like this aesthetic of being our perfect selves, it reaches that emotion in us that makes us want to pull out our wallet and obsess over these things, have body dysmorphia, etc., etc. Outside of that, I've not really had any other procedures that I can think of. I've never had my brows done. I've had my hair dyed, but I have not dyed my hair in multiple months, maybe 3 or 4 months now. So you can see my gray hair coming in. I've just been leaving it because I don't care right now. And I also lash extensions before. I did that twice and I absolutely hated it. That was a total waste of money for me. And each time I did it, it was like $100. Terrible experiences every time. I feel heavy. I feel like they're itchy. I feel like they just generally annoy me and I can't really take them. Another thing I've gotten done is your nails. Like, I've gotten acrylic nails done. I used to get those, but I've not gotten acrylic nails done in probably over 5 years or more, maybe like 8 years potentially. I've been doing my own nails for an extremely long time now. I don't like the feeling of having something on top of my nail that I can't quickly remove. So I don't know if it's like a claustrophobic thing. So I have not been wearing false nails or wasting money on going to the salon. However, I do spend money on nail products. Would put myself on a no buy for nail products for right now and maybe for the foreseeable future for like years type of thing. And that's one way that I stopped. I've had people cut my skin doing my nails. One lady one time sliced my pinky finger open because she wasn't paying attention to what she was doing. And these are the kind of things that are costly blotches. So I stopped getting my nails done because a lot of the techs are sloppy. They tend to cut you. And if they're not clean, you can get infections. So I really do not go to the nail salon. Occasionally as an outing for a pedicure with my friend, but that was another behavior or procedure that I stopped getting done in its entirety. I don't have hair extensions. This is my real hair. I've tried clip-in hair extensions and they were a waste of money. They itched my head. I couldn't keep them in. I just don't like a lot of things that are artificial on my body. I have a tendency to want to rip it off after so long. Fake nails, fake hair, fake lashes, anything like that, I usually cannot take. And even when I got my lips done, I kind of didn't love it the first time. I was like maybe the second time, and I did not like it. It felt like I looked like Marge Simpson. I will not probably ever get my lips filled again. And if I was to ever do it, it would probably be like a quarter of a syringe or something. I probably just wouldn't even do it at this point. I've never had like liposuction. I've never gone under any type of anesthesia for a beauty cosmetic procedure. I've had my eyebrows done where they would wax them, and I've stopped doing that in its entirety as well. I've never had them professionally done with like the inking or tattooing or microblading. I thought about it. I never did it. I'll probably never ever do that as well either. At this point, I'm really cutting back on a lot of the cosmetic and beauty procedures. I probably may not even move forward with any of them in the future anymore. I'm even struggling with Botox, like seeing my wrinkles come in. I'm realizing that if I can just really try to maintain a balanced lifestyle, this won't really come in that much, and a little bit of makeup or whatever will usually cover it up for me. So I don't really want to play with procedures right now. If maybe in the future when I'm like 75 or 80 I wanted a facelift or something, maybe I'm not opposed to it. But I wanted to just mark this point in my journey where I'm saying that these procedures, a lot of them will just be wasting your money. And I'm telling you that from experience. I'm not sitting here as a 25-year-old woman telling you not to do these things or judging these people and never have done these things before. I'm telling you fresh from multiple plentiful experiences throughout my 20s and 30s about what you're wasting your absolute money on. Now, if you feel as though these things are helping you, then so be it. I am nobody to tell you not to do anything. I wear makeup. I clearly do my hair. I care about appearances to a certain degree where I think people should at least look cleaned up and somewhat proper. But with that being said, going overboard for these things like we're about to see can be really expensive. Okay, so it looks like she went to Korea to fix some of the volume loss in her face or something, or to do some fat shifting, things of this nature, which is extremely popular. Which I'm not even sure why she would need any of this. That's a shame. So she got a procedure and it ended up doing the opposite, and it bulged out her forehead and gave her a more masculine appearance. That's an instance of you've wasted a ton of money and attempted to have this procedure done, and meanwhile it did the opposite, and now you're potentially in a financial hole. It's definitely not as bad as she thought it was, but I could see it, and if that was me, I would not have been pleased with that.
With a plastic surgeon who I feel wronged me and caused me emotional lifelong damage. All I had asked for was a slope and a lifted tip. Slight slope, by the way. Basically presented this procedure as a walk in the park, nothing he couldn't do. I saw how easy he thought this was, and I honestly felt pretty good about it. I was like, okay, if he thinks this is so easy and like so doable, let's do it.
After sitting down and speaking with her plastic surgeon, Samara felt pretty good about the situation.
Super important side note here, we walked out of that office without a quote. Hey girl, well, can you tell me the total? He said that your total will be $21,000. However, we decided to go through with the surgery. I had to make a life-changing decision in practically less than 5 minutes. The reason he was late and very visibly upset was because a receptionist at the surgery center messed up his sandwich order, and this made him angry. Very angry for someone who's about to cut someone's face open, right? From this point, my surgery was supposed to have started 30 minutes ago. It is at this point where he tells me he does not think he can do the slope and lifted tip at all. So he asks me to pull up a picture of what exactly I'm expecting. Why are we asking for a reference picture 20 minutes before I'm going under the knife?
Yeah, that sounded like an insane story. And if that's her nose currently, like it looks all right, but you could see, I don't know, in my opinion, it looks like you can see that something was done here. And if she paid 21,000, usually I think nose surgeries are around 10, but I don't know, in different areas it depends on how much, but that's another thing that I've noticed with people with nose surgeries. Sometimes they can end up getting multiple because they don't originally like the first one that they got.
This is getting so freaking old, and I'm so upset. What the fuck? The doctor put me just on the same antibiotics again, and it's not getting rid of it.
That's a shame. I feel really bad about that one. That could happen at any injection type of thing. So anytime you're getting injections, you could potentially make them infected, or if they were not done in a sterile environment, etc., etc. And then you have to pay for the antibiotics, the doctor's visits, all the treatments and follow-ups to reverse that. That's another thing. Again, I'm not trying to scare anybody completely away from doing like their dreams or something like this, but make sure you're doing the research with the facilities that you're going to. I made mistakes and got Groupons for things at times back in the day, and some of those I regretted as well. I wish I would have never done them. So that's why I think it's extremely important to realize where you're going for some of these things. And because of the nature of what you're doing, you don't want to cheap out, right? But then you also could be potentially really getting ripped off. And then if you end up not liking the procedure at all, you're out money and your body has been altered.
At least 7 women have died from fungal infections stemming from cosmetic surgery in Mexico. The CDC has issued a warning that multiple patients have died of something called fungal meningitis. And the reason they're citing is that these clinics across the border are using epidural anesthesia in lieu of traditional general anesthesia to perform their plastic surgery procedures.
So this is an instance where it's not financially and health costing you, it's costing you your actual life. Because what is also popular, and we've seen it already, I think a little bit, where people go to other countries to get these procedures, and if the countries are not up to what you would think would be the standards of cleanliness or just typical regulatory things that need to go on in the healthcare industry, they may not be following those same regulations as the US. And even in the US, it can still happen. So you're taking a risk when you go to unregulated countries or countries that are known for mass producing or countries that are known for assembly line doing plastic surgeries. You may fall victim to this, and that is extremely sad. I feel bad for those individuals and their families.
I'm sharing 2 stories on how I learned the hard way of why you should not get work done during a Venus retrograde. This is a friendly reminder that Venus, the planet of beauty and love, went retrograde yesterday, March 1st, and is going to be retrograde until April 12th. Do you know what that means? That means you are not going to get any beauty work done. I'll tell you. Back in 2019, I went to do my routine Botox that I get every 4 months, and my injector told me that I have a very strong chin muscles, and she said, let's put some Botox in there and it'll soften it up. I was like, okay, let's do it. Never done this before. I walked around for 3 months like this. Every time I wanted to smile,
I'm going to tell you right now, this isn't necessarily because Venus is in retrograde or whatever. This could happen at any given time. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't need to happen during that time. I'm sure we could come up with plenty of experiences where people did this during multiple seasons, during multiple different celestial whatevers, and these things are still happening. It's because when you consistently are getting different procedures and you are doing it with regularity, the chances are, the probability is that at some point something may go wrong. So if you're consistently getting Botox and you have these doctors suggesting new procedures to you, and then you go and get these new procedures, that's when it starts to become out of control. Oh, and you know what I did do at one point, and I'm forgetting about it, and I'm remembering now, and through the video as I remember, I got a facial peel at one point, but I did it at home, and it was kind of cool, but you have to be so careful with it because it can, if you mess up with some of the peel, it can like jack your skin up, and it takes a long time for it to go back to normal. So these are the types of things that I crazily experimented with when I was younger, and I've also done microneedling on myself, purchasing the things, and I think it's all okay to a certain degree if you're safe with it. But if you are doing these things and you have no idea what you're doing, you've not researched, you've not spot tested, you've not maybe talked to a doctor, you've just done it and just throw caution to the wind, at some point, if you keep conducting procedures like this, something could potentially happen.
another situation where I did elective surgery and I had to go back and fix the irregularities that I had. And this was also during a Venus retrograde.
It's not, I'm telling you, it's because of the fact that when you're doing all of these procedures, by the law of probability, at some point, something could go wrong.
Hey guys, so I just got lip fillers and I don't know if it's supposed to look like this, but I don't know. I guess you can be the judge.
Oh, this makes
What
me,
do you think?
this makes me feel bad.
I'm gonna get Reef's reaction to them, see what he thinks, but
Or saying,
I just
go
got
get
lip
your money
fillers
back,
and I don't know
please.
if it's supposed to look
Wait
like
till the
this,
swelling
but
goes down.
I don't know.
I'm praying this
I
is
guess you
not
can
real.
be the judge.
Hi, did you ever dissolve? My lips were not like that, but I felt like my lips were like that. And that's what I was talking about, the Marge Simpson lip. I cannot. That when I see these botched surgeries, it over and over again gets into my subconscious that I should just not do any of these kinds of things anymore because it's affecting your health and it's putting a strain on your pocket where all of those dumbass procedures I got barely did anything. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of the Botox that I've gotten, because my metabolism is so quick, it goes away so fast. Like Botox only lasts me like a few months. Wish I would have took all the money on multiple Botox visits and put it in an S&P, and I would have been up probably thousands of dollars right now. That's where this shit is hurting your pocket. Instead of doing these botched surgeries, if you would have just took it and invested it into yourself in some sort of way other than in attempting to correct what you were naturally born with. Listen, I get adjusting the avatar. I totally understand it. But at some point, you have to take a step back and really understand what's at stake and what really means more. Is it your health that means more? Is it your aesthetic looks where you push it too far and then you have situations where you look completely the opposite of what you want it to look like, and now you have to do all this reversal? Yeah, I don't know if that's real. That could have been fake for all I know, but I've seen that happen so many times. That's not even funny. Like real instances of this. Let's see.
No one can fuck with you when you're honest with yourself. What can you possibly say to me to intimidate me or make me afraid that I don't already know about myself? You think I'm crazy? Cool, I think I'm crazy too. You think I'm aggressive? Yeah, I know I can be aggressive. You think I'm a little annoying? Yeah, I know that about myself. Like when you're...
I don't want to judge anybody, but this right here, like this, whatever's happening here, because she's swelling and you can see the pulling of the skin. I'm sure she was absolutely gorgeous beforehand. Oh wow, somebody actually pulled up a picture of her. See if I can find a more updated picture of this person on how the surgery looks now.
It's 12 weeks since I had my procedure, and I thought I'd give you all an update because I know that you all...
Yeah, I just think that this procedure, she's not showing certain sides of her face. I can tell she won't turn her face
options to
the
do
side,
this. It's doing your...
And it's because I can see that whatever it is that the doctor did, he pulled something in here, and you can tell even in these newer videos, she doesn't seem to want to be showing you the side of the face. Now, it looks like it is slightly going away and it's definitely healing, but this is extreme. I feel like this is a lot. I'm not sure if I would have gone through something like this, but I get her wanting to look youthful and refreshed, but that's the part where it's accepting how you start to look in your older age. But again, I don't know how extreme she went with this, where I don't know all the procedures she had done. Just when I thought see, this is that Catwoman look that I was talking about. Once you start to go so far with plastic surgery and procedures, you almost get like a blind eye to it. You get that like body dysmorphia, but to where you keep thinking that you need something else. It becomes an addiction, and you gotta keep going to have that addiction met, to where you think with every new procedure something different's gonna change or you're gonna look better. And it could be, like I mentioned earlier, the polar opposite, where it starts to make you look worse, and then you truly cannot see yourself through all of the plastic surgery and procedures, and then your face becomes a completely new and foreign face to you. It depends on side what makes you happy and what you want to do with your body, but it's things to think about.
How does this happen? Can someone explain this to me? How does this happen? How do you have this much money and look this bad? On what planet? What is probably hundreds of thousands of dollars on work, and you can't even open one of your eyes all the way. Who did this surgery?
Did you see her here?
Mr. Potato Head with a blind...
That's insane.
Takes a lot of money to look this cheap. I don't understand how anyone can have respect for these people or look at them and go, oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. She used to be stunning, by the way. She used to be a truly, truly beautiful woman. And then Bezos got a hold of her. Give me wrinkles any day of the week over whatever this is.
I could agree. It's like when you do have the money, then you also go too far. Why a lot of rich people or people that are really wealthy have extra money end up doing things of this nature and getting these procedures done over and over again. You can see that that's happening kind of right now in Hollywood, and they don't look like themselves anymore.
This is the most irresponsible I have ever
I can't even watch this. The fact that anybody would do this to themselves, or the fact that anybody would do their own Botox, is just over the top to me. Like, I get it in some sense, but when it comes down to the reality of it actually happening, I don't think I can watch it.
If you want lip filler that badly, and this person is self-proclaiming that they're a perfectionist and this is why they do it at home, go find a perfectionist injector.
No, I can't even deal with that. I can't even watch that. It's actually making my body have heebie-jeebies because I don't like the feeling of that needle. That's another reason why I don't do my lips anymore. Getting lip fillers feels disgusting to me. Going into my lips gives me such nausea that I don't even want to think about it, and having somebody self-injecting that much filler into their lips is rocking my system right now.
Part 2 of how I almost died from plastic surgery in Tijuana twice from the same surgery. I end up getting to the hospital for the second time now, and I tell them everything I just had done. I have draining tubes, and my ears are ringing, my head is pounding, and also Tijuana didn't give me any pain meds or anything like that. I don't know if that's normal. I figured they would have. They did while I was in the hospital with them, but not when I left. So I was struggling a little bit too, so I was like, I don't know what's normal, whatever, and it was a lot of surgery. Anyways, they come back and they're like, okay, yeah, so real quick, if you wouldn't have come in today or the next day, this is the doctor speaking to me, mind you, he's like, I don't know how much longer you would have made it because you were losing way too much blood way too fast. So my hemoglobin had dropped to 5.6. If anybody knows, a normal hemoglobin should be anywhere from like the 11 to 15 range for a grown adult. A little less for women, closer to 11, 12 range, I do believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyways, and so with how fast I was losing blood, he told me if I had not come in, he does not know how much longer I would have made it. So I stayed in the hospital for about 5 days. I got 2 blood transfusions, and they actually took very good care of me, and it was great. But just please be aware, if you're going to go out of the States to have surgery,
yes,
bad things can happen.
It's insane, and the fact that I'm hearing that with such regularity, the fact that people are having to rush to the hospital after their surgeries because they're going septic is insane. That is just out of control. Oh, I remember that.
A model who spent her life trying to look like Kim Kardashian has died after recovering from her latest procedure. OnlyFans model Ashton died of a heart attack after a round of plastic surgery.
And that's old, but that's terrible and that's awful because, again, getting killed due to plastic surgery is that's just another level of risk that you have to be willing to take in the name of aesthetics and beauty.
To be honest, I have gotten filler in my cheeks, but that is long gone. Because I hated it. It actually made me look older and like some type of Disney villain. 0 out of 10. Also under eye filler. Biggest regret. The filler was injected too superficially, so I had these giant purple sausages under my eyes. Looked like I lost a fight. I wound up dissolving it almost immediately. So yeah, another huge waste of money. Thank you. I also did PDO brow threads. Another waste of money. Thank you. My doctor was way too conservative with the lift, so it didn't make any difference. Not to mention it was a very painful procedure, so to see no results.
Yeah, those string lifts is scary to me. They look cool, but I've heard people just say that they're such an absolute waste of money.
The internet is at it again. There is a looks-maxing trend of medial canthal cutting. And if you've never heard of that, your medial canthus is this tendon that attaches your eyelids to the inside, right where it connects to your nose. Apparently the goal is to detach this anatomic attachment of your eyelid to give this kind of downward sloping medial canthus. It's reportedly more predator looking in appearance and gives a more masculine face.
This whole looks maxing thing too going on the internet is keeping us broke as hell because also we're just focusing on our looks over and over again. And I believe anytime you focus too much on something, that is going to throw the balance off. So everything with neutrality, everything with balance, I've personally learned from experience and these 42 years on this earth that the more I try to understand myself and be balanced with the lifestyle that I live, I will see the effects on my skin and be happy with the way that I look. But don't get me wrong, I've fallen victim to all of these things, and who knows, I could potentially in the future. I'm not immune to wanting to look decent. I'm not obsessed with how I look. I was probably in my 25s to like 30s. I was very into trying to looks max, if you will, but not in the way that the internet does it now. Again, just through like Botox and fillers and makeup, etc., etc. But I've really embraced letting most of that go and just doing it my own way, coming up with my own little beauty routines, coming up with my health routines that aid to my beauty, really learning to feel comfortable in my skin without fillers, without Botox, without lashes, like just looking at this natural face and accepting what it is and not pinpointing every little thing on it that needs to be changed or that could be changed, accepting the face for how it is, and thinking about the fact that all the time and money spent into attempting to quote unquote looks max could be put into other areas of your life, like financial freedom or like your family, your friends, and just being out in nature and experiencing life instead of worrying about what we can do to ourselves to make the avatar its 110% aesthetic looking best. And a lot of the times what you're not seeing behind the scenes is the real debt that these people are going into due to these procedures. And if they're trying to go cheapo with it, most of the time they end up getting some kind of crazy experience where they're having to go to the hospital, or it's botched, or some things happen down the line, or they have to get it recorrected. So it's important to evaluate all of these things before you go into making any large decisions like body altering cosmetic surgery, even not just in the US, but in any other countries, and just the ramifications and repercussions of this entire industry and what it's trying to sell us as a society. So I hope everybody enjoyed this video. You learned something new today, and you can look within to see the beauty and not always feel like you need to outwardly or externally feel like you're always having to fix something for the outer world to see you in the light that you see yourself in, or the light that you want to see yourself in. So until the next time, guys, I hope you all remain financially astute. All right, bye guys.